Think about it. What would happen to your life, specifically your financial life, if you became disabled and couldn't work? How would you live? How would you pay your rent or your mortgage? How would you buy food? How would you pay your utilities? If you didn't have an income, how would you pay your bills? Most people don't have a lot of wealth that will sustain them for a long period of time, and that's where disability insurance comes in. Hi, I'm Mike Potter, and I'd like to welcome you to the True Wealth Financial Show, a show dedicated to providing you the information and inspiration to navigate financial decisions, intentionally build wealth, and retire with confidence. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Additionally, you can find more information and resources on our website at truewealth.show. And now, let's get on to this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the True Wealth Show. Thanks, as always, for taking the time to tune in. Great job on continuing to invest in your financial future. Today, I want to unpack disability insurance, talk about why it's important, the different types of it, coverages associated with it, and where to get it. According to the Social Security Administration, there's over 9 million people that currently receive Social Security disability benefits. And it's actually very hard to qualify for Social Security disability benefits, which means there's probably a lot of people that are disabled that don't have coverage. I heard one time, don't quote me on the stat, but I heard something along the lines of a 40-year-old has a 40% chance of becoming disabled by the time they're 65, but only a 5% chance of actually dying. And yet most people in their 40s have life insurance, but very few have disability insurance. According to a Lima report, only 14% of Americans currently have disability insurance. So what is disability insurance? Disability insurance protects against loss of wages. Think about it. What would happen to your life, specifically your financial life, if you became disabled and couldn't work? How would you live? How would you pay your rent or your mortgage? How would you buy food? How would you pay your utilities? If you didn't have an income, how would you pay your bills? Most people don't have a lot of wealth that will sustain them for a long period of time, and that's where disability insurance comes in. Disability insurance protects against the risk of you potentially losing your wages due to disability. Now, there's a couple of different types of disability. The first one is what they call as own occupation. So own occupation is the idea that you could not do your specific job. So, for example, if you are a surgeon and something happens to your hands, right, you couldn't do surgery. Doesn't mean you couldn't do other jobs. You just couldn't be a surgeon, right? If someone who's a talk show host, for example, lost their voice due to disability, they could not do their specific job. They could do other jobs, computer work, administrative, things like that, but they couldn't do their own specific job. That is the best type of insurance you want to have. Also the most expensive, but the best type, because protecting against your specific job. The other one is any occupation. So any occupation means you're disabled to the point where you can't do any job. You can't, whether you're a surgeon, whether you're a talk show host, whether you're a financial planner, whether you're an administrative assistant or a secretary or a mechanic or a dentist or an electrician, no matter what it is, you couldn't do any job. You couldn't be a greeter at Walmart. You couldn't work at Chick-fil-A. You couldn't work anywhere. That is any occupation. Obviously, a lot harder to qualify for because you could do a lot of jobs even though you're potentially disabled. Like the surgeon who lost a hand obviously couldn't do surgery anymore, but he or she could go do other jobs. The person who potentially lost their voice, while they might not be able to be a talk show host, they could do other jobs. So again, it's harder to qualify for that, and so therefore the benefits and premiums are lower with it. Modified occupation is that of kind of in between. It's kind of a hybrid. It starts for a couple of years of doing, you can't do your specific occupation, your specific job, but then after a couple of years, it notches down to any occupation. So those are the different types. When it comes to coverages, what you're generally looking for is to replace somewhere between 50 and 70% of your wages. So why 70%? Because if you think about it, your gross income is not what you actually bring home. After Social Security and Medicare and federal taxes and state taxes and benefits that you pay through work, health insurance, things like that, 401k, 403b, retirement benefits, stuff like that, you generally only bring home less than 70% of your income. And so insurance companies only going to protect 50 to 70% because if you made more money on insurance than you did actually going to work, it would de-incentivize you to go to work. So generally, you're looking for 60 to 70% of wage benefits, which means if you no longer work, you would receive benefits and income, if you will, from the insurance company of about 70% of what you currently, that's what you're striving to get to. In terms of benefits being after tax, if you pay with the premiums of after tax money, so meaning you bring home the money and then you pay your insurance, or if you do it through work, you pay with after tax money, the benefits are tax free. So like all things, benefits could potentially be taxed. If you pay with pre-tax money, the benefits that you receive will be taxable. And so ideally, you want to buy them with after-tax wages. In disability, there's a thing called an elimination period. Elimination essentially is your deductible, right? So when it comes to auto or home or health, there's a deductible, a monetary deductible. Well, if you lost your wages, the last thing you want to do is pay out monetarily with a deductible. And so they put a time element as a deductible. So the elimination period is the time that where after you are deemed disabled, there's a time period before benefits actually kick in. Could be as little as 30 days, could be as long as up to a year. Most people get between 3 months and 6 months. Again, that has an effect on the premium. The longer you have to wait for disability benefits to kick in, the lower the premium. The sooner the benefits kick in, the higher the premium. So ideally here, again, this is where things get intertwined with if you have a 6-month emergency fund, meaning you could live off of your savings for 6 months, you could be very comfortable getting a 6-month elimination period. If your emergency fund is less than a month, you're probably going to have to get a shorter elimination period, which then causes the premiums to be more. So the elimination period is the amount of time before the benefits actually kick in. The other coverage aspect of disability insurance that, again, is kind of unique to this insurance is that it's the benefit period. The benefit period is how long you will get to the benefits, how long you'll receive paychecks, how long you'll receive disability income. So this could be as short as 2 years. It could be as long as till age 67. Ideally, that's what you're striving to get to, either age 65, 67. That's when 65 is when Medicare kicks in. 67 is when most people are fully eligible for Social Security benefits. There is an element of disability insurance that's called Social Security integration, which kind of combines if you get Social Security benefits, disability benefits, and you're receiving a disability insurance claim, your benefits from the claim are reduced by the amount you get from Social Security. That's a way of kind of reducing the payments as well. But generally speaking, you want disability to cover your entire working career from a benefit perspective. If you only get benefits for 2 years, that's great for those 2 years, but then what happens after that and you can't go back to work? So ideally, you're looking for benefits up till age 65 or even better, 67. So that brings us where to purchase it. The best place to get it for most people is through their company, through a group policy. So if you work for a big organization, that organization will hopefully have an HR benefit package that includes disability. That's by far the best and cheapest place to get it. When you go through open enrollment, generally it's a benefit listed there and you can sign up and it costs you probably less than $10 a month to replace 50, 60% of your wages for the remaining part of your life. If you don't have that as an opportunity because you work for a small company, you're self-employed, the next best place to get it is through some sort of group entity. So, for example, if you're a realtor, you could potentially get it through the Realtors Association. If you're a CPA, there's CPA organizations you might be able to get it through. Organizations that you belong to. Financial advisors, for example, there's an organization called NAPFA, North America Professional Financial Advisor Association, or something like that. They offer group disability insurance for financial advisors. They can potentially get it through there. If you don't have the opportunity to get it through work and you don't have the opportunity to get it through some kind of group or entity organization that you belong to, the next place will be to go to a broker, insurance broker that will shop again amongst many different carriers and try to get you the best policy. It is expensive, no doubt about it. It's going to cost you a couple $100 a month if you get it independently. Again, the group is the best place to get it through work or through some sort of entity organization that you belong to. And if not, it's going to cost you a good amount of money. But it is critical. We've talked about it before. Insurance is one of the two rails that protect your wealth. If you can't go to work and you don't receive wages, how long will it take for your wealth to be depleted? Probably not very long. That's why we need to have disability insurance. So in this, we talked about what disability insurance is, why to get it, why it's important, the different types, the coverages of it. Hope this helps you on your financial journey. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. Additionally, you can send an email to mike@truewealth.show. And until next time, I hope you have a great day. Thanks again for taking the time to watch or listen this week's episode of the True Wealth Financial Show. I encourage you to like, share, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Additionally, you can go to www.truewealth.show for more information and resources. One final note as we wrap up today's show. I hope the information that you were provided was helpful and valuable, but I want to remind you that it's really for educational purposes only. Prior to making any decisions or taking any actions, I would strongly encourage you to talk to your legal, tax, estate, or financial advisor who's familiar with the circumstances of your situation. Until next time, I hope you have a great day.